You're going to watch this. I want you to shut your eyes and think about this for a second. You are a military family, and you are doing a PCS or a permanent change of station from overseas to a new duty station, to a new state, to a new community where you've never lived. You've got a wife, you've got kids, you've got dogs, you've got household goods, you may have cars, you may have all these different things. And then let's say that your military spouse has to go on a temporary duty assignment before you get to the new duty station. You've got to clear a post, you've got to get your kids, your cars, your spouse, all to that new duty station while you're off somewhere else trying to be mission ready. You are trying to look for a place to live. And you are very well credit qualified. You got money, you got all the things that make you the perfect home buyer, including access to the greatest loan on the planet, which is the VA home. You have a buyer's agent who is very well versed in VA loans, the VA process. They make that offer, and then that listing agent rejects it because they're not accepting VA offers. Not because the house is dilapidated and old, not because there are issues with the roof or any of those things that we may make up in our mind as to why they can't use the VA home loan. It's all out of ignorance. So what they're saying to you is thank you for your service, but you can't buy my house. Military families all across the country are experiencing this, not because they're not credit qualified, not because they don't have guaranteed money from the government, not because they don't have great credit scores or tons of money in the bank from selling a house at a prior duty station. They could have six figures coming from the sale of that house. They get their offers rejected because listing agents do not educate their sellers properly on what the VA loan is. They perpetuate these myths that have been around for 30 years, and they spew it as fact. Even if that buyer's agent takes the time to educate, or the loan officer takes the time to educate that listing agent on what is fact, more often than not, their offers still aren't accepted because that conventional offer is better, or because they keep perpetuating that myth. They want to be right. They cannot remove their ego from the transaction. They want to be right. They don't look bad in front of their seller. They've convinced their seller that this is the demon of all demon loans. And a military family doesn't get to use that benefit on a house that will fit their need because of ignorance. It is the greatest threat to veteran home ownership that we face today. And I firmly stand by that because we live in a time with the greatest access of information in the history of mankind. And yet we still refuse, or just out of blind ego, won't educate ourselves to better serve them. 1% of active duty use their VA home loan benefit. Only 18% of eligible veterans have used their VA home loan benefit. And I would venture a guess that the majority of that is because they get talked out of it. They don't know it exists. We have done a very, very, very poor job of educating the ones who earn the right to use it. This is not just a loan program. No offense to FHA buyers, conventional buyers, or USDA. This is a benefit that's earned through service to this country. It's the only one like it. And yet, we as industries still do this. I haven't quite put my finger on why, but I can tell you this. My resolve is to create a community to be able to train, educate, and consult with people to flip this narrative. So when that same military family is coming back from an overseas assignment or a deployment, they don't run into this stuff. We are going to educate every last one of them.